Welcome back. As you can tell by the background, I'm not home. I am currently on a trip, and I want to talk about 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After. You know, a lot went down this episode, and I really don't know the exact number of this episode because I feel like so far all my reviews, the numberings have been off because I can't tell if this is just one episode, one long episode that's cut up in multiple parts, or they're each episode's on their own. So are we at episode 8 or 7? If you know, please let me know down in the description. I'm gonna put episode 8 on this because that's how much I've counted so far. Maybe I'm wrong, correct me if I am. But anyway, let's start off with Andrie and Elizabeth. So, Libby has to go sign up and register, create a register for her baby and her baby shower. And she goes over to Jen's house, and Jen's there with her sister-in-law, and they're kikiing it up, having a conversation. So right when they're picking things that they definitely need for the baby, they asked her, oh, you're gonna need a crib. And she said, I don't know about getting a crib. Does the baby really need a crib? So they're like, why don't you want a crib for the baby? And she says, well, I don't want to raise the baby in an apartment. And currently they live in an apartment because, let me emphasize this part, they gave up the house that Libby's father gave her rent-free because Andrie didn't want to do work on the house. Rent-free, so that she can go to an apartment and pay rent. It doesn't make one bit of sense. But carrying on. Moving on. So, an argument popped off because Jen was like, well, if you don't want to raise the baby in an apartment and that's preventing you from getting a crib, then maybe you should let Andrie take the job with dad. And then she started giving a whole bunch of excuses for Andrie, and the sister is just like, sorry, I'm shaking this thing, I should probably stop. The sister is just like, no, we're trying to help you. We're concerned about what might happen. We're saying all of this because we love you. And Libby's just like, well, don't you see that if you're bringing up these things and you have this attitude towards Andrie, that Andrie have all right to feel some sort of way as if he's being attacked because you guys never liked him? First of all, they got this idea that the family doesn't like Andrie, and I don't think that they don't like him. I think that they see him act in certain types of ways towards Libby, and that's like, it makes sense that they would react in that way. Just about anyone's family member would react like, hey, this guy's controlling. I'm worried about what might happen to you if you continue to be with him. But they're like, well, you're already married now. There's nothing we can do about this. We can't stop you from being married to him. So we're going to accept him. But however, we still want him to act like a functioning member of society and get a damn job. And he doesn't seem to be interested in getting a job. So I completely understand what Jen and her sister-in-law is talking about. Like, they're making so much sense, but Libby is just, no, she's defending her husband regardless. And then the thing is, after they just have a conversation inside and she's defending him, she gets in the car, they're texting her, and Andrie is getting upset and pissed off at her for texting back, and he grabs her phone. And he's just proving the point that the sisters already have about him. Like, they already think that you're controlling and a bit of a douchebag, and here you are being that douchebag. Like, what's good, Andrie? You make no sense. If you have so much problems with them having these ideas about you, then how about you not act that way? So they go to the baby shower because Jen's other sister is putting on the baby shower. I mean, Lizzie's other sister is putting on the baby shower at her house. And Andrie came with he already came with a chip on his shoulder, saying like if Jen shows up, he's gonna feel some type of way, he's gonna want to leave, or blah blah blah. And Jen happened to show up because it's her sister's baby shower at her sister's house. Like, why wouldn't she show up? And Andrie's there, like, just pretending that Jen doesn't exist. So Jen's like, hi, how you doing? Hi. Just basically asking him to acknowledge her existence. And he goes over to talk to the other sister, but in earshot of Jen. Like, Jen could hear him. Like, bro, what are you doing? Like, she can hear you. Are you gonna talk about her right in front of her face and act like, what is that? So the sister took him out into the hall and tried to hear him out for a second. And then she's just like, no, you can't tell me who not to invite to my own house. First of all, your party was a little stressful to organize. And this is my sister. I'm gonna invite her to my sister's baby shower. Like, you don't have a say in that regard. This is my house. So she basically shut him down, and then Lizzie come out because she's curious, like, what's going on right now? Like, what is this? And she's just like, no, you need to stop, Andrie. You're disrespecting my sister, and you're disrespecting her house. And like within a few minutes later, Andrie comes back, and he's just like, he's ready to go. Like, Lizzie couldn't even eat another slice of cake before this man was ready to go because he doesn't want to be there because Jen is there. I really can't with Andrie. So Libby told him off and says, no, you ruined the party. Everyone was having fun until you made everybody uncomfortable. So moving on to Jay and Ashley. And the only thing that I really liked about anything regarding Jay and Ashley is Jay's sister. She seemed to have her head screwed on properly. She's talking to both of them. She's like, hey, Jay, you need to stop acting childish because, get this, Ashley called Jay childish. And I'm just like, yes, Jay is a child. Like, to you, he's a child because you're like 34 and he's like 20. Like, you're 14 years older than him. Like, you could literally have a kid Jay's age. Ashley, is she 34 or 36? I don't know. Whichever one she is. I'm just saying, Ashley, like, what's good? That was a child. You knew he was young. He's acting like a 20-year-old would. Don't act surprised now. You made your decisions. So, Jay's sister is telling them, listen, it's either you forgive him or you forget him. Like, do something. It's either you're gonna call it quits with the relationship. I really hope you guys make it work. But it's either you call it quits and just stop having constant arguments about the same thing over and over. And Jay, you need to grow the hell up. And I'm like, okay, you're right, Poochie, you're right. Moving on to Colt and Larissa. I'm say Colt and Larissa. And Debbie, of course. So Debbie is moping around after the argument with Larissa from last week's episode, and Colt comes in and sees her brushing the cat, and she's just playing a victim and playing a child. She's like, but you guys don't want me, so I have to leave because you guys don't want me. And I'm just like, Debbie, you're a grown-ass woman. Your son's a grown-ass man. Okay, neither of you should be putting on this little poor little thing voice. Like, you don't want me. No, Debbie, no. You're not a victim here. And apparently neither is Larissa, because the next thing we see is Colt talking about how Larissa was once again arrested for domestic violence. So Colt said he was having plenty of arguments with Larissa after Debbie took a little vacation away from the two of them and they were left at home alone. But what it seems is, like, this was the time that Larissa had an argument with Colt because she found out that he was spending money on porn, but he wouldn't spend money on getting her hair, like fixing her hair, but he's willing to spend money on porn or people that he's talking to online. And she obviously got upset, but he says that she locked herself in the bathroom and he deactivated her phone. I feel like that's a little extreme. If somebody locked themselves in the bathroom, my next option is not to deactivate their phone. We know that he works in IT or something of the sort, so he knows how to deal with computers. So I don't know if how exactly he deactivated her phone, because she was still able to use social media, and she went on either Twitter or Instagram and she asked people to call the cops and leaked its number. She straight up doxed him, and the cops came and they kicked down the door, even broke it, and Colt is there, and he was cuffed. He wasn't arrested, he was cuffed, and after about an hour he said that they arrested Larissa on domestic violence charges because of, I don't know what, it didn't say what she did to make them think that she did something violent, because he looked fine. He doesn't look like he has any scars or anything. But we see Larissa's mugshot, and I think this was the second time Larissa got arrested. I think there was another time after that, if I'm not mistaken. Like, when was the one where she had all the scratches on her face? Because in the mugshot, she didn't have scratches on her face. So you're telling me that Larissa got arrested 3 times? I thought it was only 2. She getting a lot of strikes. She getting a lot of chances. Uncle Sam? Alright. Moving on to Pedro and Chantel. I'm Team Chantel in this episode. I'm not saying that I'm 100% against Pedro, but a lot of things that happen regarding Chantel, like, I understand her point of view, and I feel like Pedro's mom and his sister are hard-headed and they're hard to deal with. So Chantel goes over to have a conversation with Pedro's mom, and they brought a translator because Chantel said that they're always talking really fast and she doesn't understand Spanish when they talk really fast. And I'm like, okay, makes sense. So they brought a translator for her, and she's there talking to the mom, which it turns out, like, she didn't really need a translator because homegirl can hold her own. So she's there having a conversation with the mom, and she's saying, listen, your kids aren't innocent, and I'm not saying that my family didn't do anything wrong, but your kids aren't innocent in this. Like, they played a part in the fight too. Like, they were involved in it, hitting my brother, in arguing with my mom, disrespecting my mom in her house, all of that stuff. So don't act like your kids are just the victims here. And Pedro's mom said that she would beat up Chantel's family. I'm like, I want to see you try, because we damn sure know that Karen knows how to scrap. Okay, you ain't gonna tell me that Karen can't fight. And Pedro's little ass mom, no honey, you can't beat not River, not what's the sister's name? whatever her name is. She can't beat her. None of them can beat her with their little asses. No. No, it wouldn't happen. Chantel alone can take her. Like, Chantel, I'm glad that she stood up for herself and she defended herself. And Pedro, when she was ready, she was like, I'm ready to go because this is going nowhere. So she tells Pedro to go get his suitcase and come back to the hotel. And Pedro is like, she's my wife. Yeah, we were arguing and everything, but at the end of the day, she's my wife. So he went with her. It's like, I came here to spend some time with my family, but I'm gonna go with Chantel because that's my wife. And I'm like, okay, all right. So I guess he kind of stood up for her in that instance, but what's gonna happen later? Later, he said to her that she needs to apologize to his sister. She needs to have a conversation with her. And at first she was hesitant, but then she was like, you know what? I'm gonna give her a chance. I'm gonna talk to her, but if it starts turning into any sort of argument or fight, I'm gonna leave. Like, this is not gonna go down. And she showed up. She showed up to have a conversation with Nicole, and Nicole was just like, not here for it. She showed up in what Chantel calls an ugly ass outfit. And I'm not gonna lie, Chantel ain't right. She ain't wrong, sorry. Chantel ain't wrong. That thing that Nicole was wearing was no, it's a no for me. Like, I've seen those little frilly things look better. Like, no, it's a no for me. And Chantel she was being the most reasonable I've ever seen her in this episode. We both the conversation with Nicole and Pedro's mom. She was like, hey, I'm willing to hear you out and have a conversation, but if you're gonna argue, I'm done. And Nicole was ready to argue. Like, she didn't even want to be there. She's like, I'm only here because of Pedro. Like, okay, so is Chantel. Chantel is only doing this because Pedro is her husband. That's the only reason why she want to talk to you. However, she didn't come there being like, with like her bitch levels being on 110. No, she came there semi-civil at least to have a conversation with you. So why are you getting there? So Chantel was just over it and she got up and she left. And that's where we ended. There was no Nicole, Nick, whatever y'all want to call her. There was none of her this episode, or at least I didn't see any of her this episode. I guess Avon did not FaceTime with her. Or she was probably busy working to go to Morocco. But that has been the review once again. Thank you for watching. But I must say before I go though, Chantel and Pedro make a really good looking couple. Like, Chantel was killing it. I feel like she saved all her style and swag for when she's in Dominican Republic. Like, she looked really good. Like, those outfits, I'm just like, ooh, titties popping, ass popping, girl, you look good. But anyway, thank you for watching. I know, wow, this video ran long. That's why we need editing, man. Anyway, thanks for watching and have a good day.